All right, what is up, tycoons? What's up, traders? For today's video, we're going to take a look at the Sentinel token, ticker symbol DVPN, breaking things down as always on the daily time frame. And we can see that this token has actually been on a tremendous run since the start of the year, right? From the lows up to the highs, this thing ran up over 650%. And we've seen a very significant pullback here recently as well. So I'm going to go over some of the key support levels. As you can see, it fell over 65% from the highs to the most recent lows. We're also going to go over the MACD here and the relative strength index and how you can use some of these indicators and tools to help give yourself an edge when it comes to trading. Trading is like going to battle. It's like going to war. You need to have the proper weapons at your disposal and know how to use those weapons so that way you can increase your odds of success on the battlefield. With that being said, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We're going to jump straight into it. Now, 0.0004030 is really our big major support level. Okay, if we flip this level from support to resistance and reject it, most likely we're going to come down to that 0.0002 level and retest some of our previous lows within this region right through here. Okay, so that's going to be kind of the area that we're going to be looking at if we get a breakdown. But currently we have some bullish divergence and we most recently got a MACD entry signal. So we're going to see if we can get some follow through or if these are some false signals. Now, if you're not familiar with the MACD or the RSI, we'll start off here with the MACD, but typically an entry signal would be this red line crossing above the blue line, okay? And you can see that that happens right over here in this time period, and that really started and was the fuel to the fire behind this really, really big rally. Now, technicals are just one part of the thing. There are other different aspects, of course, to why something would go up or down in price. But as you can see, that was a really nice indicator and a really good entry signal there to capture, over 100% move. As I showed you guys, it went up about 650% from the lows all the way to the highs here recently. Now you can also use it to spot an exit signal. So for instance, when this red line crosses below the blue line right here, you can see that ultimately we were, testing some of our major support and resistance levels of 0.0007192 and 0.0005887. And as we're consolidating, we end up getting that MACD sell signal, and you can see we had a strong push to the downside afterwards. Now, this is what I mean by here recently. It gave us an entry signal. It crossed up above. All right, the red line crossed above, and it's starting to put some space in between the blue line. So we're going to see if this thing can get back above zero, because above zero is really when it has the potential to take off. Over here, we saw we got our entry signal, and it really was consolidating ultimately until it got above zero in through here, and then we saw a big explosion afterwards. And the next thing I want to touch on is the RSI. So in this case, we have something known as bullish divergence. Take a look how we're making a low here, and then we're making higher lows. So we're actually in an uptrend, increasing in relative strength. Meanwhile, the token was remaining flat in this area and really just trading sideways. So we saw this sideways movement in the price action, but then we ultimately saw an upwards RSI creating higher lows. This would be a term known as bullish divergence. And if you take a look, we get the bullish divergence here and a MACD entry signal here. And then shortly afterward, we saw a nice pop in the price. So we're going to see if we can get some more follow through, okay? And if we can continue to head upwards. 0.0005887 is our major resistance level, as well as 0.0007192 and 0.0008496. Everything in between there is going to be kind of just chop consolidation. And ultimately, these are the major areas of liquidity where we're going to see some type of price action and some type of movements. So the things you want to look out for if we get a pullback, okay, is one, can we hold this initial support level right here that we really consolidated at? If not, we have that line in the sand of 0.0004030. All right. And then also you want to see, does the MACD curl back down below this blue line? And if we get a pullback, is the RSI going to bounce off of this bullish divergence trend line, or are we going to break through that to the downside? Most likely, if we get the crossover to the downside on the MACD and the RSI breaks through this trend line here, then we're going to see a pretty sharp move to the downside. And you could, be prepared for that. So that way you're not caught by any surprises. Otherwise, we're going to see if we can get some follow through off of the bullish momentum and some of the bullish indicators we have and break through that first resistance level and possibly even head up to the second or third resistance levels that I'm paying attention to. Now, that's going to be it for the update today on DVPN. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, I do these viewer requests every week. So if you want to see your token, your crypto in the next video, all you got to do is comment down below and I'll get to it as soon as I can.